So I'm not deliberately showing you my hairy tits, but I'm just quite warm. I've woken up, I haven't showered yet, so I couldn't be bothered to throw a shirt on all clammy and that. I wanted to vent because I I've not spoken about this much lately, but my health for a long time has been problematic to say the least. It's very frustrating for me at this point because I feel in the beginning there was at least some hope because there were avenues to go down that might explain how I could get better or what had happened to me. But at this point, this has been the case for such a long time, my entire adult life, that I'm like, I'm fucked, aren't I? This is as good as it's gonna get for me. I can't have a normal life like a lot of people. I mean, I know there's people that have got things a lot worse than me. I've known people younger than me that have died of cancer. Like, lots of bad things can happen, and maybe I should be grateful, but it's very hard when you're out and about in the world and most people are normal, at least on the surface, functioning. I mean, the funny thing is there are people that work with me in the office and would have no idea how much I struggle with both my physical and mental health. To recap, in case you aren't aware, when I was 14, I started getting acne quite bad. I would say out of my entire high school, I had acne the second worst out of everybody in that school. And the first worst, I heard, had gone on a drug called Roaccutane. There was a waiting list for it. It was a serious drug, which I didn't fully appreciate at the time. I had to go to the hospital and they had to look at my back because I had acne on my back, and they had to decide, are you bad enough that we can give you this drug? I was just so desperate to have clear skin at that point that I was like, I didn't really see it for what it was. Like the fact I had to go to a hospital and they had to really decide, can we put you on this? It's like you have to jump through a lot of hoops. Some people don't. Some people get given it way too easy. But the fact is, the drug is controversial and risky. So they don't want to give it out to someone that's got a couple of pimples on their nose. Like you got to have bad enough acne in their eyes that they can treat you with it. But they decided that I was fucked up enough from acne that, hey, you can go on this drug if you want. You have to come to the hospital for it. You have to have blood tests once a month, which I believe they stopped doing at a point, but to check your liver isn't failing because it can be toxic to the liver. I don't want to go into it in much detail because honestly, I can't even like speak its name like it's Voldemort from Harry Potter. Roaccutane, I hate it that much. I was actually on a BBC documentary many years ago, back in 2012, not 2012. And the director, this really nice guy called Derek, had lost his son to suicide because of the drug. And so the documentary was about really that, but also it showed that some people take that medication, they don't have issues. And that's the difficult thing. People will be desperate. They'll hear the horror stories of people like me or worse, people that have had their colons removed due to severe inflammation. My biggest symptoms really are that I'm so dry all the time internally. As like, what do I mean by that? Like my eyes are so dry all the time, especially in the morning. My mouth gets dry. I'm always dehydrated no matter how much I drink. Like it just dried the shit out of my body and probably killed off a lot of different cells that are important. Because that's what it does, man. It was discovered as a cancer treatment, and people with acne who had cancer were getting better skin. So they're like, oh, we can market this as an acne drug, and that's what then primarily it became known for. But you know, it kills your sebum production, and it probably kills a lot of different organisms in your body that are vital to feel normal and good. So maybe the fact is, and I should accept it at this point, that I'm just never going to have a normal life because I got fucked up by that drug. I don't know. But you can't live like that, can you? You can't live every day being like, oh, I'm just going to accept I'm screwed and just embrace it. And for a while I did. I stopped caring about exercise. I stopped eating well because I felt like it makes no difference. I feel shit either way. So I'll just slowly kill myself with junk food and sitting about. But I'm trying to get better now. I'm trying to exercise more, trying to eat better. I do have a bit of a vice in being addicted to junk food because it's helped me to kind of cope, even though it doesn't really help with anything. But obviously, day by day, it's like, oh, I just need a reminder that life can be worth living. And sometimes the biggest reason is chocolate or sweets. I've always had a sweet tooth as well. But anyway, let's get to the point. I'm frustrated with the NHS because I feel I'm being let down and I feel I'm on my own again, and I just can't do it anymore. I had a few blood tests recently, and my testosterone result was low on the first one. It was like a 6.5, and the range is 8.6 to 29. So the doctors called me and said that's low, but it could be that your blood test was done a bit later in the day. We really ought to do it by 9 a.m. So they did a different one, and it was still low, but only by zero point 0.1. So it was like 8.5 instead of 8.6 upwards. The stupid thing is, though, I can have all the symptoms in the world: no sex drive, no energy, just exhaustion, waking up unrefreshed constantly from sleeping 8 hours. Like, oh my god, I feel like I haven't slept at all. But oh, you're 8.6. That's where the range starts. You're normal. We won't even call you because you're fixed. There's nothing to worry about, man. You can just relax. That's how it works. They did a third test for some reason. Well, the reason was, to be fair, they were checking some brain hormones that can cause low testosterone, or like an issue in communication between part of your brain and your testicles, I guess. And if that had been low, they probably would have sent me off to see an endocrinologist, like a hormone specialist, and I would have been offered testosterone therapy, which I probably would have just been like, fuck it. Like, I'm willing to try this now, even though starting that at a young age could have some issues down the line. Like everything has issues down the line. In terms of your own testicles, will just be like, oh, we're not needed now, and they can shrink and stuff. So someone like The Rock, who's clearly been on testosterone or steroids for years, he's probably got tiny little balls, man. I like to picture that. And hey, we all like The Rock, I think. But in a way, he's a fraud, isn't he? Because look at the age he is, and he'll still deny that he's ever taken steroids. Or I think he might admit, oh yeah, when I was like in football when I was 18, I tried them once. But come on, just be honest. I'd appreciate a bit of honesty from the guy. Moving on. The third result. Oh yeah, your brain hormones are okay, and your testosterone is now 9.8. So you're fine, mate. I didn't hear from them, and about a month went by, and I was like, I don't like that this has just been left. In my view, that range is based on everybody in the world, and just a large range. So my result of 9.8 could be okay for somebody who's 90, but for someone who's 34, I think it should be a lot higher, especially given the symptoms I'm having. Another problem that I've suspected I could have, and I don't know for sure, I might not, because I don't fit a lot of the criteria. I'm not overweight, I don't have like a massive neck, but I have been... Ellen has noticed me snoring a few times, which I didn't think I did. I've been told by the dentist, by a few different dentists, that you're grinding your teeth and there are signs that you're wearing your teeth down too much. You might want to wear a retainer every night because you might be clenching at night, which was news to me. I'd not really paid attention or noticed anything. And also the low testosterone, the fatigue, all of that is like packaged to fit sleep apnea. But I called the doctor and I said, look, can you just refer me for a sleep study so I can rule it out if I don't have it? Because I could be doing all the other stuff right. I could be looking at my diet, trying to exercise more, going to bed at reasonable hours and all that stuff, and it could all be pointless if I'm not breathing properly at night. And he's like, oh, I'll send you a little quiz, and if you answer yes to enough of these questions, we can refer you. Now, maybe I could have just lied. I could have just said, yeah, I do all this stuff, send me on. But the questions are so black and white. It's like, do you fall asleep while driving? No. I'm very tired generally all day, but no, I'm not going to fall asleep at the wheel. I wouldn't let myself drive if it was that bad. Do you fall asleep while talking to another person face to face? No. No, I don't. It was all the very extreme of, oh, you're falling asleep constantly during the day. But there are a lot of people online who have been referred, probably not through the NHS, outside of the UK. They're probably, going through insurance and all that stuff in America. But they were only tired and they got referred. And then, oh yeah, you've got a moderate case of sleep apnea. You need this machine to breathe properly at night. But the doctors are like, you don't have it. You can't possibly have it. And it's just wrong. It's just fucking stupidly wrong. And I'm not blaming the individual doctors. I'm blaming the entire system. Because I feel like they're really only there to support people who are dying or have something really, really obvious that stands out. If you're someone on the fringe of issues and you're struggling a lot but not enough in their eyes, eh, you're fine. Get on with life. We're all a bit tired. See you later. So yeah, I'm just fed up. I lost faith, really. And here's the thing. I do worry about health sometimes. I worry about the possibility of getting cancer. Who the fuck doesn't? Because we hear about it a lot. If you actually get cancer now through the UK and you have to go through the NHS, how long does it take to get treatment? To get proper scans? Like, do you have to wait months? And then by that point, oh, sorry, yeah, you got tumours all over the place now. You're going to die. Like, I just don't have a lot of faith in the NHS being there for us. It's not their fault again. You can blame a lot of stuff. Some people would blame immigrants. Some people would blame the Prime Minister and the parties that allow so many people to enter this country and join our NHS system when they haven't paid into it for years. I have empathy for people that come over to the UK because they've had a really bad life and their country's war torn or whatever. But yeah, clearly we have an issue with overpopulation at this point. Like, the NHS can't hold up, and so I'm not blaming anyone in particular. We're all just doomed, basically. Anyway, yeah, I'm seeing a friend today, but I just don't want to do anything. I just woken up again feeling like I just feel shit. Knackered from the week. And this is my reality a lot of the time. And I'm not asking for sympathy, I'm just explaining. A lot of people don't get it. People in my family just think, he's always tired. But why am I always tired? Why don't you care? Why are you judging it as if it's my fault all the time? I don't want to be this way. Cheers.